Good day, everyone. My name is Chris, and I've served in tons of different leadership positions before changing careers. I miss coaching young restaurant leaders, so this is my way of attempting to continue doing that. I scribbled some thoughts down about my first week in a leadership role and how I'd coach myself if I had the opportunity. So in your first week of leadership, here's how it usually goes. Leader above you promotes you, promises that you're going to change the world. You show up for work on your first day with your new title, new shirt, and immediately get crushed because there's not enough pomp and circumstance to make your team respect you as a leader. So you take to your leadership duties, which when I was 16 comprised of simply outworking everybody to show my value and that I deserved the promotion. So I arrived early, stayed late, and while I was there I filled two positions simultaneously. After all, I had an image to keep. Well, I found myself immediately frustrated with people when they didn't match my newfound care about the success of the operation. I left late the first day because I felt it was my responsibility to do so. Even though I had plans for that evening, I went ahead and pushed them back. Told myself it'd be better tomorrow. Came in the next day with a renewed sense of purpose, only to be crushed again and again and again. So if I could go back in time and coach myself on how to have a successful first week in restaurant leadership, I would hit on these points. Have a mission, have a list of stuff I want to see accomplished. I would ask my supervisors what they wanted specifically. What metric are we looking at? How do we measure it? Why is it important? How do we impact this metric? We need to master this area ourselves before we can influence anybody. So metrics could be food cost or labor or productivity or transaction count or car count or number of slices of bacon or pieces of cheese sold on a sandwich. So next part would be set the thermostat. So this is where the talking part of leadership comes in. I used to tell my leaders that they're paid more for their influence than their physical actions. Team members can work hard, yeah, so can team leaders, but team leaders are paid to influence others to work hard. Setting the thermostat is setting clear expectations for your team. Everybody you are around should know what's important to you, why it's important, and how that thing fits into the bigger machine that is the restaurant. Without those three pieces of information, you will always struggle to get buy-in. I call this setting the thermostat because the temperature of the room affects everybody and everything in it. So here's an example. Say your manager, your supervisor, whatever, says you need to reduce paper waste. That's not very specific. Decide what to focus on. So in this example, cup waste. That is specific. So the goal is to eliminate or reduce cup waste. So how do you do it? Well, a leader would identify the areas of opportunity in the restaurant, observe for a couple hours, and take notes. This part's kind of awkward. I mean, how do you stand there with a clipboard your first week of leadership and just take notes? And what you'll find is if you actually do it and show those notes to your people, they'll respect you for it. So within those notes, you should put down where do the losses occur, what times, what team members, what actions prompt those losses to occur. In my experience, significant cup waste came from dropped drinks due to overcrowding the counter or spilling tea on top of Cup City. That's what we called all the unpacked cups taken out of the sleeves and put on top of the counter so we could access them more quickly. Another common thing I saw in my years of doing it was giving out large drink cups instead of medium drink cups, simply because cups weren't stocked prior to the rushes. Now, some of this is out of your control. If your supply truck doesn't bring medium cups, well, it looks like every customer is getting large cups, and that happens. Sometimes employee drinks were a significant part of that waste. An employee who grabs a new cup every 15 minutes for an informal drink break, he'll use up an entire sleeve of cups throughout his 3, 4, 5-hour shift. So you've observed, and congrats. Now here comes the sucky part. Most leaders are capable of identifying what the issue is, but then they just can't coach, they can't develop, they can't have those tough conversations with the team. So again, here comes the sucky part, and this is, you actually need to do this. You actually need to communicate with your team. Share with them the goal for the restaurant is to mitigate cup loss. Share with them why saving paper is important. Share with them a specific behavior that will lead the team toward this goal. So telling them we're going to save cups isn't enough. Detailing that we can't grab a new drink cup with every informal drink break that kind of stuff makes the needle move. If you give them what's important, why it's important, and how to affect change, then you've successfully set the thermostat. Well done. So the last part is rolling up the sleeves. This is where you actually get to participate in the operational change to find cracks or bottlenecks in the plan and act accordingly. Most often, the idea will fail because of lack of buy-in from the team. It takes a consistent message and lots of reminders to effect meaningful change. I worked with a leader for a long time, and his approach, it just cracked me up. His approach was always to say something like, hey, remember that time? It was like 8 minutes ago we talked about that cup thing. Yeah, we're still doing that. I thought it was hilarious, but he got buy-in for it. That was his way of nudging his team and doing those minor course corrections to get them back where they needed to be. So restaurant leadership isn't always the most glorious of positions out there, but it's important. You never know how you're influencing people's lives or what happened in their day before they got to the restaurant. Oftentimes people who are in high school or college or any other life situation, so oftentimes going to work is the best part of their day. So as a leader, you get to continue to nurture them and grow them and just make sure they have a great day, and that's awesome. And you can still do your job as a leader and hold them accountable to things, but you can do it in a way that builds them up and makes them feel good about themselves and the work they're doing. So I enjoyed making this video. My goal is to always do just one take and not go back and do editing. I don't have time for that sort of thing. And plus this is more fun, a little bit more candid, but I'd appreciate any feedback you guys have for me. Thanks. Bye.